Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me for the full moon in Virgo. End of February, February 27th, 2021. 3:17 a.m. Eastern time, but times will vary. You know, it's so funny. I usually, if you've watched my videos, I call myself the rock and roll prophetess, as you can see, and it's because I'm a musician and I get a lot of music downloads, but usually it's while I'm in the reading I'm getting the download. As I was trying to open this file, I was hearing, of all songs, I was hearing It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones. And that is definitely not a song that's not really my jam, So I don't know. I mean, I guess we could look it up. If anybody wants to look up the lyrics for It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones and put it in the comments. By the way, just if you want to do that, don't put a link because YouTube already automatically marks that as spam, and I don't always go in and check that spam thing very often. So if you just copy and paste the lyrics, if anybody feels like doing it. But anyways, here we are. We're having this full moon in Virgo, and the moon itself is conjunct Vesta, the Vestal Virgins. I should have maybe probably looked up the Vestal Virgins, the mythology of it. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But what I feel about it really strong is like healing. I feel like this can be so, so healing. And Virgo is healing anyway. This is 6th house of health. But I'm feeling like with the power of the combination of this Vesta being involved, it's really coming through very strongly for me, as it's a very healing thing that can happen. So it could be in a in a general way, if you've not been feeling, for most of us, it's the winter time, you get your colds and whatnot. So it could be like that, but it also can be just healing in general, as a group, as a collective. We could be healing as a collective because we do still have all that stellium and Aquarius. But before we move to that, of course, the full moon is in opposition to the sun. And the sun is conjunct Venus over here. So some of these personal planets, we've the sun, including the sun and Venus, which were in Aquarius as of the last reading. We had so much Aquarius. They're now moving into Pisces. So that's a little bit of a calmer, more sedate, Aquarius energy is cool. It's really cool, and it's high vibration, and it's it takes you into the next level, but sometimes it can be a little much, it can be a little much to handle. You need the counteraction to that. You need the grounding of the Virgo energy, the earth energy, to ground and settle things into, settle things down a little bit here. And the Pisces energy is that way too. It can be, in its highest expression. It's this being very calm, being very settled, creativity. Venus conjunct the sun is creativity, no matter how you slice it. And then in the sign of Pisces, this could be straight on the best kind of creativity. Because sometimes you're just phoning it in, or even like when I play music, sometimes I start running scales or playing old songs just to get my hands warmed up and get flowing. Every time you sit down to play, you're not writing the next, the concerto or whatever. But then there's those times when you put your hands down and it's on, it's flowing, it's just flowing right through you like crazy. That's what this could be, because Neptune, I say Neptune, by the way, Neptune's there, but Neptune is the ruler of Pisces in the 12th house. So that is why the Neptune energy is so, when I talk about Pisces, you're talking about Neptune energy. And it can just be like, or even like writing. And I'm doing the channeling writing now mostly. That's about all the writing that I'm doing. But there's sometimes when you're trying to, or even if you're just trying to write copy for a video or copy for your website or something. There's sometimes where you just are really, really struggling, and you're just forcing yourself, to. And then there's other times where you're just, writing, you're writing paragraphs and it's just flowing right ahead of you. That's what this could be. I could just be really in that flow, really grabbing that. Or even art, not every painting that you're going to do. I've been doing a lot of painting lately, and not every painting is a masterpiece, Some of it looks like complete. Some days you turn up a bunch of crap, and so that's just how it goes. But then some days it's just like, it's just flowing right through you. So that's this energy of flow. The the Pisces energy at its highest expression is the energy of flow, but with the Venus joining with the sun, and it being, part of this full moon energy, This is nice. This is some nice flow. This is some nice flow that then can be brought down and grounded through the Virgo energy. Brought down and grounded in reality. And brought down to earth where we feel really grounded, where we feel really safe. You know, a lot of times with this same kind of thing on the same track of, of creativity and connecting, channeling, whatever you're channeling, tuning into the collective unconscious, a lot of times it's just so much. It just comes, it's just too much and you can't grab it. That happens to me when I'm doing these readings often. I was like, oh, what was I going to say? I lost it. Because sometimes it's just coming so fast and furious, or you're at such an elevated state of consciousness, like with the Aquarian vibration, that, it's hard to grab it. And it's just flying through so fast you can't grab onto it. This is this is very conducive and very conductive for grabbing onto it. For connecting with it in the first place through the Venus and Sun energy, and then grounding it down into Earth here. And it can be very healing. Well, all the things that I've mentioned to me are very healing. Playing music, doing the painting that I've been doing lately, it's all healing. It's very healing. It's very therapeutic, So it could be like that, that it's because sometimes with the Aquarian energy too, like I was just talking about, you're so high vibration, it's almost like you're out of your body. Astral travel, I would say, it falls under the realm of, the Aquarius energy. So sometimes we can just be so high and out of our body, and that we overlook, or not overlook, but we are not in resonance that we are in a 3D reality, and we are incarnated in a human body, and we are supposed to be bringing this stuff down to earth here. That's big part of our human incarnation, about incarnating into a 3D reality, is so that we can pull these beautiful things from spirit into our, into the 3D reality, and planting these seeds. Even though it's a full moon, to me it feels like there's a very much an energy of planting the seeds into the ground, And we're getting to that time frame, once we get into Pisces, if you're in the northern hemisphere, where we will be planting those seeds in the ground. It's more the Aries energy, though, but anyways. Yeah, we still do have the stellium in, this isn't gone. Just a couple of planets have got out of there, but we still have, Pallas, which is an asteroid, but we still have Jupiter, Mercury, and Saturn this is turned on, that's why it's doing that. I was doing another reading where I needed it on. Okay, Jupiter, Mercury, and Saturn all still in Aquarius, and Jupiter and Saturn are there for the duration, for the year, and then Saturn's going to be a couple more years. So, and then Pluto's going to join in. So we're not out of the, I don't want to say out of the woods, because it doesn't have to be negative, but we're still very much immersed in the Aquarius energy. And at the time of this. Of this full moon, the Jupiter-Mercury conjunction is trining with the nodes here. So that can be really beautiful energy. Jupiter trining the north node, trining and then sextiling the south node, but Jupiter trining the north node with Mercury, and Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, if you follow. Third house Gemini, Mercury. Well, the north node is in Gemini, and Mercury is its ruler, and it's in harmony, and it's not only is it in harmony with the north node, it's bringing in powerful Jupiter to really boost up that energy. So mercurial, the Mercury energy, and Mercury, for the time being anyway, is the ruler of, until they discover the true ruler, Mercury also is the ruler of Virgo, where the full moon is. So there's a very strong Mercury presence going on here, a very strong mercurial element, a very strong Mercury Gemini vibe going on. So this is all about communication. This is clarity. It's kind of like what I was saying before. A lot of times I'm tuning into stuff before I even get to the part of the chart that shows it, But, this ethereal realm, this higher spiritual connection, being able to articulate it. The Mercury energy is being able to articulate it. If you do have to write something, a lot of times, and too, if you get in a phase where, even if it's just that kind of stuff, like writing the body copy or writing an important email, or writing, stuff that's sort of mechanically based, not really, we wouldn't normally think of as creative, which is something that, like a chore that has to get done almost, that's hard, or Even doing your taxes, maybe that's one of those things for me. No, but that's not really the Mercury, but it's your mental mind, you know. There's going to be flow with this mental mind stuff going on. There's going to be, you're going to be able to express yourself clearly and articulate clearly. And if there is some kind of thing that you're like putting off or not wanting to do, and or you have tried to do and it's just a big mess, and it's just like, oh, I know I got to get that done, but I just can't. I'm not locking into it. It's just it's so hard. It might not be so hard at this time. So if there's something that you've kind of put away, and you don't want to deal with, break it out, and you could probably just knock it right out. You know, it'll just go bing, bang, boom. Yeah, look there. There's my whole bio. My bio's done, or the body copy for my website, or for my video, the video description. It's done. You know, so it could just be like that, just catching up and getting things done really quickly. Also, though, awareness. Because Gemini does rule the mental mind, so there's this aspect of awareness, like really becoming aware of having those aha moments, having these realizations, and these having understandings of things that are way out there. You know, maybe there's a connection between the higher mind and the lower mind, I guess you could say. Well, this is the Sagittarius energy, is the higher mind, but I feel like Aquarius can be the higher mind as well, you know. There can just be this bridge, this connection, this, oh, I get it now, you know, or, oh, that's why I keep doing that. Things that, because when we get in our mental mind, that's the realm of Gemini and Mercury. We get in our mental minds, and we keep rolling it around. We keep talking the same thing over and over again. And explaining. And trying to figure it out in our head. Well, if you're just running around in circles with that and not getting anywhere, you know, this could be this big aha, you know, this big aha moment, like to let you see things from a different perspective, from a higher dimension, from a higher perspective. Like the mouse and the hawk, or the eagle. You know, the mouse is scurrying around trying to get their nuts together, and then the eagle is up in the tree and sees and including the mouse, you know, lunch. You know, you see things from this lower mindset, and you're busy, thinking, or you spread your wings and you soar. I don't know if this is, I didn't verify the fact or whatever, but they were talking about somebody put a webcam or something, or GoPro or some kind of thing on a California condor, and it flew I don't know how many miles, and it never flapped its wings. You know, it's like that, you know. You see, even like, you look at sparrows, you know, they're flapping their wings and they're all frantic all the time, and they're all, I'm scrounging around for the birdseed. And, you know, the hawk just, you know, it's like that. It's like being from that higher perspective, that higher plane, you know. And who's having a better time of it, or what energy would you rather be in? Would you rather be in the mouse or the sparrow energy, or would you rather be that condor and just soaring? You know, talk about riding that wave. They're riding those airwaves, you know, they're just riding that wave, you know, for not having to flap, not having to extend a lot of energy. Connecting with the highest possible, like that channel I just did, I posted the other day, you know, connecting with that highest possible realization, or highest possible expression, you know, because we can, what that channeling message was, is we could all do it. You know, these portals are opening up that make it really, really happen quickly. And they were talking about that too, what's kind of similar to what I was just saying here, about how, you know, maybe there's things that you've tried, and it's just, it just is a source of frustration for you. And then you just say, well, I tried that, it didn't work out for me, you know, done. I'm not going back there again. That was just all aggravating. Well, maybe now it wouldn't be aggravating. The energy is really changing, where these pathways are opening up. They were equating it with the lake freezing. You know, like I could walk on the lake all the way out to, you know, in different circumstances. If the lake's not frozen, you can't walk on it, right? But you can, you know, these pathways, that's what they were talking about. That was the analogy they were using. Now that the lake is frozen, there's a straight path I can walk all the way out to the lighthouse if I wanted to, you know. So there's straight paths are being established. And through this energy here, that might just occur to you. Because of course everybody's straight path, or what everybody, what everyone's aspiring to is different. But that's half the battle, just going in the right direction. So many people, we beat our head against the wall. We keep, well, if I just work harder and I try harder, that's going to be the thing. Well, that's not really going to be the thing. That's not really, that's the universe telling you, go try a different way, or wait till the timing is right. The timing is going to be right for a lot of things. Especially, I feel like a lot of people who are interested in astrology, or maybe watching these videos, I think a lot of us are kind of maybe ahead of our time. I don't know if that's the right wording, but we're a little bit more tuned in, and we pick up on things before the world is really ready for it. And I've seen that in many, going all the way back. Many times, I've come up with this idea, and I put it out there. And this was even like before the internet, and like nobody's like, yeah, whatever, no. And then a year or 2, 3 years later, all of a sudden it's the big rage, And I was there, but the rest of the world wasn't ready to hear it or see it. Well, this is the rest of my world, like I said, it's before the internet, so I would have been mainly my local peeps here, now, so those are the kind of things too, or what they're showing me too is my dad with the Floby thing. He used to cut my brother's hair. He used to cut my brother's hair with the vacuum hose. And he's like, I should put this out on the market. Everybody laughed at him. Like, we had the bar, family had a bar. Everybody in the bar was like, yeah, right, yeah, blah, blah. And then it was whatever. Like a couple years later, it comes out with the Floby, and guy's making, millions of dollars or whatever. So we walk away from these dreams thinking, nobody wants to hear it. It's not a good thing, whatever. And then, a lot of times somebody else will swoop in and get it when the timing's right. So the timing is very much right, but we have to listen. It's not all about, the mercurial mind, the mental mind is one of our greatest tools in this body and in this lifetime. We need our mind, absolutely. But when it just takes over and we're not listening, this is a thing of listening and receiving and knowing when the time is right to act. Like they're showing me again, the raptor in the tree, the hawk or the eagle. They just sit up on their perch, and there's all the mice, and everybody's scurrying around trying to get it done, doing this and this and this, and they just sit there and wait and watch, and then listen, and not listen, but when that timing is right, then they're on it. Then they swoop in, then they take action. This is showing us divine timing. This is showing us higher perspectives. This is showing us the adjustments that may need to be made that we can't see from this lower mindset of the mouse. We have to get up in the tree to see the higher, but then we've got to remember to come back down to earth too. So it's this play of, it's all these different things. We want to get higher up, a higher perspective, but we don't want to be so high up that we're just completely detached from what's going on Earth. So there's a lot of different things going on here. And the Jupiter, is in conjunct or somebody sextile or whatever. So that adjustment has to be made to this Vesta over here and this moon. And Saturn is doing that with this moon too, that in conjunct or adjustment thing here. With Saturn, it always brings in our obligations and our responsibilities and how we feel obligated, and trying to stay within the structures of play by the rules, stay within the structure, work within the confines of the usual, whatever it might be. And in Aquarius, this is changing, and we have to make adjustments for that. I'm looking here, and we have Pluto trine Mars, too. We've got Pluto trine Mars, and then Lilith is squaring Pluto, too. So Pluto's getting some action in this chart also. It's right next door here to our Saturn and our Aquarius stuff. Coming down to the end of the road through Capricorn, which is Saturn's ruler. So Saturn's really been transformed. Saturn's been, the Saturn energy has been through the ringer. And as they come out into Aquarius, They can reflect on the lessons that have been learned. They are transformed in the best, hopefully in the best way possible. You know, transformation is not a bad thing. You know, but it's trining Mars, so there's a lot. Trining is a nice thing. We've got Mars and Taurus, Pluto. We can be really productive. This is like a really productive, and then we've got the Virgo energy in there too. So there's Earth energies coming in, and it can be like we could be really productive. We can really kick ass and take names. We can really get things done at this time frame. Lilith is squaring it here. So this feels like bringing up the pain, you know. It's like we can bridge this gap, and we can work together with people also at this 11th house concentration. Also, Virgo's a team player. Virgo is a team player all day long. You know, Virgos are very much, well, yeah, whatever best for the group, I'm down with it. You know, what do you need me to do? That's the Virgo, you know, attitude. What do you need me to do? Let me roll. I'm ready to roll up their sleeves. Yeah, what do you need done? Tell me. How can I help? You know, that's the Virgo energy. And then this is like really getting, you know, driving forward. And it is squaring the Uranus here too, in Taurus, or trining the Uranus in Taurus, yeah. Yeah, you know what what just came to me just now when I said those words, how can I help? What do you need me to do? That might not be a bad thing to just ask the universe during this time, because Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and it's over here. You know, instead of trying to make it happen, you know, where can I be of service? That's the Virgo energy. Where can I be of service? How can I help? What can I do? You know, what do you want me to do? And there, you may, just by doing that, you may actually be connecting with your highest purpose right there, you know, without even trying, you know. A lot of times it's like that. It's not like it's something that you have to seek out. Well, what is my highest purpose in life? And da 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 da. You know, you spend too much time contemplating that. Where's help needed? How can I be of service? Where could I best be of use? That's all the Virgo energy, and the full moon is illuminating that and bringing that awareness to yourself. Also, a good time to take a look at your health. You know, let's bring it back down to talk about bring it back down to earth. Let's bring it back down to earth. Yeah, take a look at your health. Virgo's the 6th house of health. You know, where can I improve in my health? You know, what kind of things? What's going on with my body? All this earth energy. What's going on with my body? What's my body trying to tell me? What do I need to do to make my body healthy, stronger, feel better, so I can kick ass and take names, you know, here and do this kind of work over here that I need to do, without letting our past woundings come in and sabotage things. I'm always a champion with Lilith, but I feel a real sabotage energy like this. I feel like this is like you wake up in the morning and you're like, yeah, today's going to be a great day and I'm going to change the world, I'm going to get my life on track. And then this coming in, yeah, but this happened to me and this happened to me and that person, da 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 da. You know, like this whiny, and I don't see Lilith that way, but this is just, it's a psychic reading, and that's how it's coming off now. Like this whiny victim thing coming in here. Let's not listen to those voices in our heads, because the Gemini is the voices in your heads. You know, let's not listen to that. Let's be inspired. Let's be motivated. Let's get to work. Virgo says, let's get to work. Let's get to work and get something accomplished today. What can I accomplish today? How can I help? Where can I be of service? Where can I best direct my energy that's really going to make a difference to the collective and to my own soothing of my own savage beast here, my own, you know, bringing my soul energy into this earthly body and soothing that savage beast, you know, through whatever it is. You know, like I said, for me it's music and art mainly. And, you know, it could be nature, it could be just going to the water. That's why I go to the place I go to channel all the time. I mean, I suppose I could channel anywhere, but it's kind of like a ritual. I go to this place by the water, and I just, it's a ritual, so maybe that's part of it. Like, it's like, okay, I'm here, let's plug in and start. But also, it's like, that water energy is, it just does calm you. It does soothe you. You know, it does calm you and soothe you. And you can finish up tasks too. That's that, you know, with that, like writing that body copy. I keep going back to that because that's just something that I always don't like to do. You know, or writing that description, or writing that resume, or writing that thing that you have to write out, or getting organized, or getting things clear in your mind here. You know, that's a good way. This is a good vibe and a good energy, and it's very conducive for all of that. All right. Inevitably, I usually end up skipping something in there. I guess Uranus is trine the moon. Well, we've talked about that. Yeah, we talked about Uranus trine the moon. But that's what I go with. What comes through. Yeah, it's kind of like a, you know, spiritual. I wouldn't call it channeling, but I'm definitely tuning into spirit here. You know, I'm tuning into the collective. I guess a lot of people do call that channeling nowadays, but whatever. It's an intuitive astrology reading. You know, I'm definitely not totally in the Gemini mind for this. I'm definitely more over here in the Pisces energy. But it talks to me. That's how I do it. Yeah, and we have Ceres and I just happened to notice I was about to wrap it up, but we do have Ceres and Chiron together here too. So again, that's the healing. Ceres is very nurturing, healing. We could take a look at our diet. Ceres is always the food and the grain. So take a look at our diet. This is also one of these in conjunct things, and it's sextiling the Saturn here. So adjustments to food, diet, to Saturn to make it to longevity. You know, Saturn is longevity. Saturn is also our ancestors and stuff. And while we're on the topic of like health, I just posted something. It was just cracking me up because I was at this dollar store and I saw this can of this. It's not Spam. It's called Treat. But I used to love it when I was a kid, and I bought some. And I don't eat that crap. I'm a real healthy eater, you know. But I was just like, oh, because it just, you know, these Saturn things, these things that our family, a lot of the hereditary health problems that we see passed on through family lines, is just comes from like just eating habits and stuff like that. You know, if I eat all the crap I ate growing up, you know, I wouldn't be alive, you know, because my family was not a healthy, and then, or even just like a lot of grease and a lot of salt or peasant food, which is good, but it tastes good to you, but it's or sweets or whatever, you know. We got to look at that, nourishing our body and breaking away from these patterns, being more healthy and breaking away from patterns of our ancestors. And these are not only through food. I was going to food because of the Ceres energy, but it's also everything, you know. It's all our family dysfunction and all that kind of stuff like that. And it's taking it, you know, to this higher realm with this Aquarius energy, Saturn and Aquarius. It's transcending that that family, that lineage, that family pain body lineage, eating habits, habits of behavioral habits, you know. Anything that was imposed on you as this is how it is. This is laying down the law, you know. I mean, reading the Riot Act, laying down the law. Cardinal, you know, this is how it is. I'm the boss and you're not, you know. You do as I say, not as I do, you know, or do as I say, and, you know, as long as you're under my roof, this is how we do things. I don't care what's going on out in the world. This is how we do things. Well, this is a big chance to transform that, especially when Pluto gets in there, because that's going to be a major enlightenment and transformation and seeing things from a higher perspective. So there's a lot of different energies going on at this time, but find that creative flow. Find that thing where you connect with spirit and it really makes you happy, whether it's just going by some water and going in nature, or, you know, doing something kind of creative that's fun and enjoyable, or whatever it is. Venus is not necessarily creative, but whatever makes you happy. Talk about the food. I mean, some people, you know, cooking makes me happy too. I like to cook, always have. You know, cook up, you know, don't be like, oh, I love to make these big meals, they're so great, but it's just a whole day of work and I just don't have time make time for it. So today I'm going to cook me some cool stuff that I love to eat and feed my body and soul. And, you know, put that love into that food, you know. That's another way this is love energy, that we bring it into the physical body through, you know, meals that are prepared, you know, with love and things like that, and healthy, good, fresh, healthy foods and things like that. Anyways, yeah, because the part of fortune is in Cancer. So that's that food, self-love, you know, the home. Well, we're all kind of stuck at home, so there's not too much way around that one, right? Yeah, but anyhow, this is the reading. Hey, by the time this posts, I will be opening up again for the Aries Ingress, talking about planting the seeds for the Aries Ingress. These are temporary readings that I offer for a limited time throughout the year. Usually my most popular readings. The year ahead is the most popular, but these Ingress readings are always, you know, very popular too. And many of you I know have ordered them every year, you know, every quarter, every year for many years. So just to let you know, little heads up that is available. Should be available by the time this posts. It's not. I haven't put it up yet as I'm recording it, but I'm going to get on that. So you should be able to order that Aries Ingress. That'll be available through the month of March, and that'll be about it. And that won't be available till next year. Aries Ingress is a very powerful time too, because we come from the 12th house to the 1st house. This is where it all begins. This is the new beginning. This is the time to plant our seeds when the sun moves to 0 Aries. So, and what I do, it's a bi-wheel. It is an astrology-based reading, but again, it's a psychic reading. And I do give you an animal totem, I think. I probably do. I don't know. But that's just a little bit icing on the cake. The meat of the reading is a bi-wheel. It's your natal chart, and then I put the bi-wheel, I put the Aries Ingress around the outside. And it's really just a check-in too. It's not only just where that Aries Ingress, that 0 Aries falls, but it's a check-in on all the transits. So people who always wanted to know if I do astrology, you know, predictive astrology readings, I do only at this time frame. So if that's something that you want, it'll look at all the transits at the time, how it's hitting your chart, and it's a prediction of at least the next quarter, the next upcoming season, but possibly, you know, even the next year with the Aries Ingress. You could even take that for the whole year because it's the first one. All right, so again, that'll be available. You can find that information above or below. I'm going to be announcing some other really cool stuff that I'm putting up. I hope you guys will find it as cool as I do. I'll be announcing that when I post the tarot readings. But thank you so much for tuning in month after month, year after year to my astrology readings and all the things that you do to support my channel by liking, sharing, and commenting, by looking at you know, all the stuff that I have, my books and decks that I've created and my different artwork and stuff. I'm working on getting some prints of my paintings up too. I'm not sure. I have a ways to go with that one, but I'm working on it. I really want to really come up with some really. This painting is like, it's like channeling art. I know I've channeled music forever, and this is like channeling art. It's really next level cool stuff. Okay, so I'm enjoying it anyway. But thank you. Find that thing that you enjoy. Find that thing that brings you joy and love and peace and happiness and elevated consciousness, and bring it down. Bring it down into the world. We can need a little. We need more of that in the world, and I think that's what this Virgo moon is about. All right, everybody, have a great full moon in Virgo, and I'll speak to you soon. Remember, you're love and beauty incarnate.